Okay, that looks good. Testing, testing. Why is you so low? You are super low. What happened? Testing, testing. Nah, you should be like here. Testing, testing. Yeah, like that. All right. So for him, okay, yeah, okay. What was kind of weird? Why would it do that? That's so crazy. I don't know what happened. Oh, it lost power. So it appears that whenever you have the Wave XLR and it loses power, the Elgato Wave XLR and it loses power, it comes back up with the default sound and not where it's supposed to be at. I think I was around here. I have a limiter so I won't go over, but I think it's either here or here. Probably here, knowing me. I think it's actually about here. It shouldn't go over, so this should be okay. We'll go with this. We'll go with this. It should be all right. Forum, how you doing? How you be? Top to the AB, and I hope everybody had a good weekend. I did as well. I was actually off today as well, but trying to get caught up on everything. So last time that we did this, and last time that we actually did this when we were actually streaming and I was actually on call, it was awful because I had to end streams early and stuff like that. And I kind of felt under pressure to make videos and make content within that week. So this week, now that I'm on call, I basically have already made my videos for like the remainder of the week, or at least halfway. And that basically, you know, I'm like plus 3 videos up or so. So I should be pretty good when it comes to making more content. So I'm not too worried about it this week. So luckily, I think that we're going to be okay as far as making sure that we get our streaming, you know, getting our, 2.5 hours in of helping everybody. A lot has happened over the weekend, and a lot of videos have come out. And if those of you who don't know me, my name is Anthony, TheOpenForum. I make videos. We don't really play video games. We troubleshoot video games for other people and help them play video games. I guess is essentially the best way to say that. And, we do everything that we can to help people with their situations. And that's kind of, how we roll on this particular channel here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So much happened over the weekend. Diablo 4, Atomic Heart. Yeah, I didn't even know what Atomic Heart was until I heard it get announced. So the Diablo 4 official beta launch. So let's go ahead and take a look at that guy first. And we got a few more things to discuss before we get started on helping people. Actually, you know what was crazy? Like, I thought that I had lost my my private Internet Explorer browser and I almost freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I got to do all this over. Like this takes me like a good hour or so to go through and comb through and cycle them so that we're not just doing a whole bunch of repeats and all that kind of stuff. So to see that disappear, I almost lost it, but I ended up finding it. It was broken or something, but whatever. Alrighty, so Diablo 4, let's get it going.
Sanctuary was never meant for humankind. It was forged as a refuge from the war between the high heavens and the burning hells. Instead, it became a new battleground in this eternal conflict. A secretive group called the Haradrim has kept mortals safe. But now this once powerful order is a husk of what it was, and Sanctuary's ancient creators have returned to claim the hearts of humankind. This is the story of their downfall.
I'm sorry, but who braided that man's hair? If there are no humans in Sanctuary anymore. These are the kind of questions that I usually have for myself because I have no idea. It's like, who braided your hair? Oh, it's a dude. Sir, who braided your hair? Nope. This is the start of every scary movie known to mankind. This is where you run. Very wasteful entity, sir. Shit. Man, bear, pig. Probably go further in that cave, bro. No? Okay. He's real. Okay, that was obviously Man Bear Pig, but no, it's I used to know what it was. There was a horror movie that was based off of him. Okay, stop talking. There was a horror movie based off of it, and I forgot the name of it, but it's the entity with like the deer antlers or whatever, and you can't look directly in his face. I forgot what it's called, but there was a movie after it, and basically some people sacrificed themselves to it, and essentially it made them immortal for a certain point. And then the girl came in and she started seeing it, and basically the demon ended up taking them, and now she works for him, and now she's immortal. It was something weird, but yeah, that's what I was thinking of as soon as I saw it. It's like some type of an entity, but you know, it's Diablo 4, so that's to be expected. But I actually already pre-ordered it because I know it's gonna be crazy, especially like on the first launch day. So I'm like just getting ready, not even to play it. We're probably just about to spend our entire time just troubleshooting the issues that it's gonna have, because you know it is, because it's a Blizzard game. So hey. Alrighty, so this is from Philips, which I thought was kind of crazy. So Philips Envia, gaming beyond innovation. They have a 42-inch OLED gaming monitor. And yes, you heard that right. It does say Philips. It scared me too. All right, get that out the way so we can actually see. Okay, right here. Wow, it's kind of nice. I like the cookies and cream stand. That was kind of interesting. So what is it, 140 hertz refresh rate for a 42-inch gaming monitor, OLED? Eee. I mean, it's probably gonna come out super pricey. I worry. Yeah, that cookies and cream, that's kind of clean. I give you that. That's clean. Good job, Philips. It's just I worry because it's like OLED. So it's like, man, I feel like if it burns in, I know this thing is probably gonna be at least 2-3 grand, somewhere in that area. And if that burn in happens, I'd be so upset. What are all the features? Ambient glow, lag compensation, and it has some pretty good sound as well, and flicker free, easy on the eyes viewing. It doesn't say whether or not it had G-Sync. I don't think it does, but still pretty sweet panel. So congrats to Philips. You don't see that too often from Philips specifically. and kind of more of a TV sound kind of thing. But you know, still pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and go to our next one here, which is Atomic Heart, who comes out tomorrow. We will be around to troubleshoot this. I went and checked it. Like when we go to, I think it's our AMD one. So when we go to our AMD one here and we look at the discussion board for it, nobody's talking about anything cray as of right now. Nobody's talking about any issues. Just, you know, them talking about it. So it doesn't appear to be released. I was trying to debate on whether or not I want to buy it. I don't really see a point. And we'll just you know stand in the cut, and if there's issues, we'll just be there to troubleshoot them. I think that's kind of gonna be the best way to play it because there's just too many games. Like I used to tell myself that I wanted to for this channel, I wanted to essentially be able to troubleshoot issues and buy whatever game and then troubleshoot it. But it's a little hard because there's so many different games that come out and we support so many different systems. So it makes it a little difficult because you got to buy, you buy a game and then the next day another game, and the next day another game, and the next day another game. Eventually it'll get to you. So I think for the major titles we'll buy, like for example, Diablo 4, we did Hogwarts Legacy, all the ones that are kind of AAAs we'll probably look at. This game here kind of flew under the radar, but it seems to be pretty positive. But let's go ahead and take a look at it and find out for ourselves.
Isn't a free pass to proceed with it.
So every other day you gotta run around collecting 4 different canisters? What a pain in the ass.
The main character being annoyed for the same reason I am isn't cute. It's a tone-deaf non-apology for weak game design.
Who the hell came up with all this shit?
It's a shame that some better context wasn't baked around these occasional fetch quests, because Atomic Heart's underground chambers feel like a ripe opportunity, and are largely great otherwise. Eerie, deadly, and mostly devoid of life, unless you count the mutant freaks with skulls shattered into fanged floral arrangements, or the dead bodies that communicate via the confused ramblings of their fading brain implants.
What are you talking about?
It does rely too heavily on repeating the same handful of door lock minigames that serve no real purpose other than to arbitrarily slow your progression from room to room.
Supply room's locked.
But I do like the bespoke platforming puzzle chambers and one-off brain teasers, especially the clever visual puzzle you'll encounter late during your trip to an ornate theater full of robotic performers.
Our brief guided tour is coming to an end.
Atomic Heart is a deeply ambitious, highly imaginative, and consistently impressive Atom Punk-inspired attempt at picking up where the likes of BioShock left off, something it's done with a lot of success. It certainly makes missteps, chiefly with an irritating leading man and a self-indulgent habit of using the same tired tropes it tries to make fun of.
I'm a magnet for annoying bullshit.
But this stern, superpowered, and stringently solo shooter has worked its way under my skin despite these flaws. Atomic Heart didn't always blow me away, but it definitely has the ticker to punch well above its weight. For more recent verdicts, check out our reviews for Metroid Prime Remastered and...
It reminds me of BioShock, and his language reminds me of Forspoken, where old girl was like cussing every 20 seconds. That's exactly what it reminds me of. But it does have a BioShock feel to it, like a lot of it does. I wasn't about to sit here and watch this whole 12-minute video. We got people to help. But just watching the ending of it looks like it may be a kind of a video or a game that most people would buy. So because of that, we're going to be there to troubleshoot. So yeah, that's Atomic Heart. It looks like it's going to be interesting, but I doubt I'll play it because I didn't play BioShock, to be fair. I played it for a while. Like I played the first one up until a certain point. I think like when I fought my third Big Daddy, I was kind of like, I didn't really get a chance to fully get immersed into it because I always felt like I had something to do or something I needed to be doing. So I never really got a chance to actually sit down and actually play the game. But I may go back to it, but this one just reminds me of BioShock. And if I haven't played BioShock, I can't play this. It's just, I feel like there'll be some gaps in my knowledge of action adventure games if I start with this instead of BioShock. But that's Atomic Heart. We'll take a look at it come next week or come tomorrow, and we'll be able to troubleshoot our fellow colleagues when they're having issues. Let me get this fan rolling, and we can start helping people. Okay, fan, let's do this. Also, I think this weekend, if I get some time, I may actually do a live stream of me replacing my computer. The computer that I currently have, I can't actually put it on my desk because it's upside down. I'm actually going to replace it with a an NR200P, or at least I'm thinking about it. We'll see how it goes. And the 4090 can fit in the NR200P, but I may have to get a different power supply. So I ended up buying a power supply that actually has a 12-pin VPHR or whatever the heck it is. But in any event, I'll try to swap to it. That way I can actually have, I want to do a video of my computer build. So one of these days I'll actually get to it, but I think I may do that on the weekend. So be looking out for that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get this popping. All right, so this one's a repeat. It looks like a repeat, but we'll start with it. That's fine. Elite Series 2 core controller quality issues. Oh, I remember this. So this one was the guy who made the video, and he was talking about just controller issues, and he was actually just pressing buttons.
So, Xbox core controller, moving forward on the thumbstick. Hear that click? Now this one. Okay. Anytime I try to move to either any diagonal direction. So that sound there is just the actual housing of the stick, like down through here. It's just it bottoming out, and then there's a click. Like you have to push, you got to put, feels like 10 pounds of pressure on it, whereas this one, right away. This one, so there's a click.
Okay, so that's what he was essentially talking about, but we did a full video of this, right? Because we had the Elite controller here, and then we also had the regular Xbox controller here that we were using for the Xbox, this guy. And then we also had the Core 2, which is in the other room. So we actually had all three, and we were testing it as well. We were like, hey, well, you know, I didn't really notice much of a difference. The Elite and the Elite 2 are a little bit harder of a press than the original case, but it's not that much difference. But the Elite and the Elite 2 feel exactly the same. And so we basically said our findings were the housing of the Elites are identical, at least to sound and feel. However, the Xbox controller is a bit lighter on the press. For example, I can push down the sticks with my pinky on the regular controller, but it's more of a pain when I do it on the Elites. I'm guessing they just tried to make the housing more sturdy, and as a result, the pressure required has been increased. There is definitely more force needed on the Core Elite I have. I'm purchasing another one to test out. I can't live with the thumbsticks the way they are. And I was like, oh, understandable, but yeah, both my Elites feel the same, so it's possible yours may be malfunctioning as well. Let us know if you have questions, bro. I've received another Core Elite, and while it feels better, it's still nowhere near as smooth as my regular Xbox One controller. So now I picked up a regular Elite. The problem with the L3 click into the top left corner still exists. The L3 click into the top left corner. L3 click into the top left corner. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't feel anything. So now I picked up a regular. The problem, L3 click top left corner still exists. I refuse to believe I'm using the controller wrong. Been gaming for over 30 years, LOL. I guess I'm just too picky. Yeah. yeah. Yeah, bro. Sounds like how honest do you want us to be, sir? What do you want us to say? How honest do you want us to be here? I'm trying to think of what's the best way to say this. Seems that way. No, yeah, it doesn't bother. No, I don't want to say that. He knows it doesn't bother me. Yeah, it's possible. But at the same point, you can play it like most people in that they would rather buy two Xbox controllers, regular Xbox controllers, regular Xbox controllers than one Elite. As when one goes out, you still have a backup for about the same price. That's what most people do. Because I know, like, for example, if we look at the Xbox controller is about $60, right? If we look at the Elites, Xbox Elite. The Elite, the black one I just showed you, is $169, and if we look at the Elite 2, it's a little bit cheaper. It is $129, right? So you can buy essentially 2 regular Xbox controllers for the price of 1 Elite. So it's usually, in some situations, especially if you play games like Genshin Impact, it's usually better to just buy 2 regular controllers than buy 1 Elite. As when one goes out, you still have a backup for the same price. Yeah, we'll just go with that, you know, and be like, yeah, it's possible. But at the same point, you can play it like most people, in that they would rather buy 2 regular Xbox controllers than 1 Elite, as when one goes out, you still have the backup for the same price. So yeah, I would go that route. I think that's probably gonna be best for him, because I don't know if he's ever gonna get past that whole Elite situation. The Elite is a little bit heavier on the trigger, I'll give you that, but it ain't cray. It's not something that I would be up in arms about. I mean, you can still press it. It's not tight or anything. To me, it feels a little bit harsher than the regular Xbox controller, but it doesn't seem like it makes much of a difference. But sure, bro. Sure. Alrighty, so this is from Consistent Top. This looks like a new issue. iPhone hotspot won't connect to my PS4. So let me turn on the PS4. Or, oh, I'm sorry, he said PS4. I don't have a PS4, but we have the 5, so we'll simulate it with the 5. My iPhone X hotspot will not connect to my PS4. I don't have the maximized compatibility option. Oh, whoa, as I don't have an iPhone 12 and up. Well, that's it right there. I've been using my hotspot for my PS4 for over 2 years now, and now it just won't connect at all. I don't know what to do. My hotspot shows up on my PS4, but it'll either give me connection too weak or WPA2 password might not be correct. I very much like some help on this. Gaming in my way to wind down, and I live in a rural area, so a hotspot is the only thing I can use to play comfortably, as Wi-Fi networks are not offered as far out as I am. Okay, let me think about this. Where's my iPhone? Okay, iPhone. Cool. Let me check this out. We can look at this together, and let me get to the page real quick. So settings, hotspot. All right, so what he's talking about, okay, make sure I can show everybody. So what he's talking about is this feature here, once it actually focuses. All right, cool. You see that maximize compatibility there at the bottom? So a lot of times with older devices, I know I had to do this on the Wii U. It used to have this, and certain older devices like the PS4, which will be in the same genre. Sometimes whenever you have your Wi-Fi signal, it has issues connecting up to it, and you have to turn on that maximize compatibility for it to actually work properly. And I can read it out for you. Maximize compatibility. Internet performance may be reduced for devices connected to your hotspot when turned on, and this just has and basically it allows essentially. That's pretty much all it says, but what it does is it allows you to connect up for devices that are lesser connections. So in other words, instead of it being like a 2.4 or a 5, it's a 5, but it allows for 2.4. It allows for older devices to connect up to your phone. So it appears that his is having problems whenever he's trying to do that, but he also has a PS4. So the best way to handle this one here is actually to see if the PS4 has a Wi-Fi dongle. I thought it did. This is a long time ago though, but PS4 Wi-Fi dongle, I think it does, if I'm not crazy. Yeah, so you can use a Wi-Fi adapter. You should be able to, and because I think that
hey guys, what's going on? I'm BMP and welcome to the channel. Today's video is actually a request that you guys wanted me to really think so, but it did boost my download. Yes, and then after that I will give my final rundown and opinion on this device as using it in your gaming console. All right, so let's go do it. Okay,
let me stop her. Sony doesn't support the use of third-party adapters because Sony will not allow you to install the software required for the dongle adapter. I'm sorry, y'all can't see that at all. Let me maximize that. There we go. Sony will not allow you to install the software required for the dongle adapter to actually work. So while you can easily plug and play any USB microphone or headphones, you cannot use other USB devices such as dongles, adapters, printers, etc. You can use USB microphone, for example, because Sony works directly with third-party manufacturers of such devices and incorporates that to their console. When you have the Wi-Fi network you want selected. Absolutely right. I use the TP-Link AC1900 on my old Windows laptop. But that's Windows. That's not telling us anything. Let's, oh my God. Why is she first? Why is she first? This was 2019. Bluetooth dongles, wireless adapter for PS4. Okay, so maybe it does work. USB adapter that connects to any Bluetooth audio device, and when you connect your USB slot for the PS4. Wireless adapter for PS4 Bluetooth gamepad. That's not what I'm looking for. That is not what I'm looking for at all, good sir. Let's see. PS4 wireless adapter. No, we just saw that. I thought you could. Me personally, I thought that you could. I could be wrong though. Let's check one more thing here before we give up. Let's do a search here once we get all the way down here. Okay, well, there's no questions on that. I was hoping there was going to be some questions that we can search for. This is way harder than I thought it would be. Is that the same girl? No, yes, it is. Use the official DualShock USB wireless adapter for PC. How to use the official Sony PS4 controller? No. Bluetooth dongle. Okay, let's go back to her real quick.
Hey guys, I am for you. So that's going to be something you're going to have to decide if it's going to be worth your money to be using something like this in your PS4. That's my thoughts. If you do want to go this route with this, please go and download the want to spend the money Wi-Fi by using a USB Wi-Fi adapter on the PlayStation 4. As I said before, I am running the internet connection with the you could potentially use this device to boost your connection. I did improve it somewhat. USB Wi-Fi adapter on the PlayStation 4. As I said before, I am running an original PlayStation, so that may have something to do with it. I didn't get the results I expected to get. I don't know if this device is actually worth it to me to be putting it into my PS4 to
Okay, let's just do it this way. Let's just tell him that he has the possibility of going with a Wi-Fi dongle to see if that actually improves it. But at his price point, I don't know if that's a good idea because of his situation. So let's do it like this. So he doesn't have an iPhone 12 and up, so he can't go to maximize compatibility, but he says it was working prior. So did he update? I'd very much like to somehow give me my so with your current iPhone, did it ever work properly? See, he did say that, didn't he? I've been using my hotspot on my PS4 for over 2 years now, and now it just won't connect at all. Oh, never mind. Let's kill that. So it's possible that you may be able to use a Wi-Fi dongle on the PS4 to try to get a stronger signal. I'm trying to think if in rural areas, could you get a Wi-Fi hotspot that also had an Ethernet port onto it that you can plug into the PS5? That's what I'm trying to think. If we look at, like, for example, T-Mobile hotspots. So some of these hotspots on the back of them do have an Ethernet port. The reason why I know this is because IRL streaming. So when IRL streaming, a lot of times they have a wired connection that goes into a hotspot in the event their dongles stop working. So they may have like a dongle for connectivity, but they also have a backup, and the backup is usually some type of a wired connection. So, but it's a wired connection to a hotspot. So I think that they may be able to do the exact same thing. Let me just scroll up a little bit. Okay, we're kind of going a little bit too far into this, but I want to make sure that we can at least get him set up because it appears that this is pretty important to him. So we want to at least give it our all. Come on. Any day now. Can you click on one of them, please? Any day now. Oh, it's refreshing. I just saw it. Okay. While it's thinking about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Maybe later. Well, that's not very useful. USB. So it only has charging and Wi-Fi signal. So it looks like a lot of these are going to be Wi-Fi based. So it's possible that you may be able to use a Wi-Fi dongle on the PS4 to try to get a stronger signal. Oh, is now following. Hey, how you doing today? Hey, what's up, Nicole? Chilling. Trying to help this man with his computer issues. It appears that it is a very important thing for him, and it appears that he is in a rural area, and it's how he winds down. So we got to help our homie here. So it's possible that you may be able to use a Wi-Fi dongle on the PS4 to try to get a stronger signal. He has an older iPhone, so he's not able to use the maximize compatibility option. He can also try to upgrade this iPhone to something above a 12, but he already knows that. So if we already know that he knows that he can upgrade to iPhone 12 in order to get a better signal connectivity, then he wants to be under $700, obviously, because that's going to be around the price of that iPhone 12. So what we can say on this one here is that he can try a Wi-Fi dongle that's only like 30, 40 bucks. And that may be a better option, and just try a Wi-Fi dongle to see if it gives him a better signal on his PS4. I don't know if that's going to work on top of that, because we only have, like for us, we only have the PS5. So we can't really compare apples to apples, because the PS5 is going to be, of course, the 5 gig bandwidth. It's not going to have that particular option. So for us, what we can just tell them is like, hey, you know, we know that this has a possibility of being okay. If you try to go with the Wi-Fi dongle, some people have been able to get it to work, and we can go from there. So it's possible you may be able to use a Wi-Fi dongle on the PS4 to try to get a stronger signal. I would go with that first, as it's the cheapest option. Next would be a personal hotspot not using your phone, as it would be cheaper than buying a new phone. Lastly, I would suggest upgrading the phone by trading your current one in and seeing if you can get a discount. He's rural area, so I don't know for sure if he actually can get cable services in this area. He may not be able to. So if he's not able to, we don't want to really, I mean, obviously, if he's only using hotspots, he probably already kicked the can on cable. So we're not going to go that far. We're just going to give him some options based on price. Because if he doesn't want to go all the way to upgrading to an iPhone 12 to get the maximized compatibility, as we saw, then what we'll do instead is just have him go ahead and try a Wi-Fi dongle, because it's the cheapest option. That's only what, like 40 bucks, 50 bucks in this economy. And then try the personal hotspot, which should also be around the same price. But of course, that's going to be a monthly payment. But at the same time, if you upgrade to another iPhone, that'll probably be a monthly payment as well for most people. So we'll give him those options here and see what he says. But that's pretty much all you can do in that kind of a situation if you wanted to use Wi-Fi on your PS4. Sorry about that, bro, but at least we gave you at least 3 options that you can choose from. Okay, all right, I'm leaving him alone. I'm leaving it alone. That was what? We spent like 10, 15 minutes on him. We got to help him, man. All right, so Mr. Grave Risen. Mr. Grave Risen writes, remote play network quality is awful, but nothing else in the house has a problem network setting port forwarding. I'm actually having problems with my Dell laptop. I decided to reset my laptop to factory reset, and I woke up this morning, user profile services failed to sign in. Okay, well, if you already reset it, there's not a whole lot more we can do to it, but the fact that it would allow you to sign into your profile is kind of interesting. Take your time, I have all day. Well, okay, so if it's having an issue with signing into your profile, then that means that something may be a little bit corrupt on it. So this is a brand new. Well, okay. You said that you reset it. Did you reset it and keep your files or keep your settings, or did you just straight up wipe it? That'll probably be the first thing, because it sounds more like if it has a profile, or if it's telling you that it had a profile or a failure to sign in, then you may have actually kept some of your settings. I would say in this particular situation, you may be better off with a full wipe. But oh, you straight up wiped it. Okay, so that's interesting. So you wiped it and you created a brand new login. And then you tried to log in, and then it gave you the error. So it logged you in previously, and then you tried again, and now it won't log you in. You type pretty fast. So I'm watching. I was like, you are lightning on the keyboard. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it lets you log in originally, and now it won't let you log in. And it's telling you, what was that error you got? Decided to reset my laptop, and I woke up this morning, user profile service failed to sign in. Do you sign into a domain, Or do you just, or it's just like your home computer? Because this answer is going to be different depending on whether or not it's residential or commercial. Like, for example, if it's your work laptop and you sign into a domain, then you look, it's my home laptop. Okay. So if it's your home laptop and you don't have a domain, and it's basically telling you that it's having issues connecting to that particular profile, then I would try to reboot it. I would make sure that it has internet connectivity and then retry to log back in. Typically with Windows, it tries to log in via Live, or it's Hotmail, or whatever account that you're using, whatever Microsoft account you're using. So if it's telling you that it's unable to log into that profile, then chances are you may have a probable issue with your internet connectivity. Just make sure that you do have internet connection set up, and then reboot it. Make sure that the internet is connected. Make sure that it does show to have internet connectivity in the bottom right, and then go ahead and try the login again. Also try to change your password, see if that will work as well. Did you have it set to a PIN as well as a password? Because you may have a PIN. If you have a PIN, oh, it's just a PIN. Okay, well, I mean, it's kind of hard to forget a PIN. So I would try to get around it. So you don't necessarily have to put in the PIN. You can actually put in the password for the email account that you signed into it with. So basically get around that. Try to sign in with the password, see if it lets you in, okay? But this is after a reboot, okay? You also may want to try to hook up directly to your router. So basically take your Ethernet cable, go directly into your router, and just to make sure that you have a direct connection, because it may be a situation with your Wi-Fi. Maybe whenever you wiped it, the Wi-Fi dongle may still not be installed properly, therefore it's giving you the error, something along those lines. So that's what I would do for that. I would try to get around the PIN by putting in the password. You should be able to get around that. Skip or something. I can't remember off the top of my head what it will show, because I don't have pins on any of our lab devices. But you should be able to get around that and just put in the password. And then once you can get in, just make sure that your Wi-Fi and your network connectivity is okay. But let's start with that. Just try to get around the PIN with the password and let us know how that works. Mr. Grave Risen, remote play network quality is trash, but nothing else in the house has a problem. Network settings or port forwarding. Okay, cool. I'm trying to solve the mystery. Okay, it's like Scooby-Doo. Remote play is useless to me with how badly it currently performs. I get constant network quality alerts. It never goes away, and the video issues as a result are just awful. The signal strength indicator on the network quality warning bounces between 3 bars and no bars consistently. My Xbox Series X is connected to Ethernet. I have gigabit internet, but he's hooked up to a Ethernet, so gigabit Ethernet. On speed tests on the Xbox, I get 700 to 800 megabits per second down with 120-ish up. That is excellent. My phone and router have Wi-Fi 6. Even on my phone, I get 300 down and 28 up on speed tests under 15 milliseconds of latency. Everything on the Xbox works perfectly. Download speeds are extremely fast. I can stream and upload clips, but when I do remote play from my phone, the connection is garbage. What am I doing wrong? What router settings am I missing? How can I fix it? Okay, so his issue is with remote play. And for those of you who aren't aware, so remote play is a feature that allows you to access your Xbox or your PlayStation 5 directly from another device. So if we go to our Xbox here, if it ever comes on, it always takes it a while to wake up. It's kind of annoying. I'm pretty sure I pressed our Xbox button and the black screen. What is going on? I heard you start up. Don't you dare. Okay, let's try one more time. It's tweaking. Xbox says stop bothering me. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Dude, we just got this Xbox. You better turn on. But what's crazy, it's not showing El Gato crying. So it's definitely connected. It's just not having a good time, I guess. Okay, Xbox controller and Xbox are both on. Come on now. Wake up, sir. We need you. Any day now. Seriously? Seriously, this is what we're doing today? Oh my God. You're making me look bad in front of my friends. What is going on with the Xbox? Here, let's switch to the PS5. PS5 is okay. It doesn't have any problems. Okay, PS5 is cool. Xbox, not so much. Okay, well, All right, fine. Fine, we'll skip you then. If you wanna have a day to yourself, whatever. We'll just turn you off and then we'll try to turn you on and see what happens. It's kind of weird that it's not showing though. But Elgato was still showing it, so it acted like it still had an input. So it's kind of an interesting one. Oh well. I'll troubleshoot it later. It's not that big a deal. Gadgets have feelings. They do. They do. I try to keep it. I mean, I don't even play games on them. We only use it to troubleshoot issues. I have yet to play a game on the Xbox. That's how bad it is. We just basically bought the Xbox just so we can troubleshoot issues and be able to switch to it. And then it wants to give us problems and we don't even use it. Like it literally just sits here and looks pretty. All right, but in any event, remote play can be used on the PS5 as well. And it essentially, well, the PS5 is a little different because on the PS5, whenever you look at the remote play options in the settings and captures and broadcast, what's it, broadcast? I think it was just network. Network settings? No, it's not. System? There it is, remote play. So remote play, so you just kind of, I can just show you my connection history, right? So you can link to the device and essentially use it. So the PS5 and the Xbox both have this ability. And whenever you do, you're actually going to be across your LAN, okay? So that be your network connectivity. So basically within your own network. Now, it tries to reach it that way, but it actually ends up going through the Xbox cloud in order to actually reach it because it doesn't know its IP address. So it actually tries to reach it just directly from the Xbox cloud. So it actually, that way you can use it from different locations. But essentially the way it's supposed to work is that whenever you have remote play, you're actually going through your home network. But either way, it's going to be a issue with your router settings if you're having a problem. So what we'll do here is for his issue here where he says everything works perfectly, but however, he's having issue in game whenever he's trying to connect to his Xbox. It'll be interesting to see. Well, here, actually, you know what? I think I do have the remote play option on the phone. So let me check it real quick. Xbox. We can do it that way. Because we had another person who had this exact same question, and that what led me to download Xbox on my phone. Set up console, connect to console. I only see 6 characters. Oh well, I can't even see the screen. Okay, well, you know what, I can't connect to it because I can't see the screen. But in any event, it's actually going to be over your LAN, it appears. Let me go ahead and connect to my Wi-Fi because my Wi-Fi is not connected. Oh, there it is. Okay, continue setup. I only see 6 characters. Okay, don't see it. All right. So basically, what I'm doing is from here, this is the remote play that he's talking about, right? So the Xbox has one, and so does the PlayStation. The PlayStation is pretty sweet because you can use it on iPads and stuff like that. So, but the Xbox one as well, it's just an application that you use on your phone, and it tries to connect them to your Xbox, which means that it's going to be using your LAN, not his WAN. So whenever he's testing his network connectivity, that's not exactly what's happening. So his issue is going to be blocks on firewalls, stuff like that. So it's going to be some connectivity issues between his router and his firewall if his speeds are getting kind of crappy. So there's a couple ways we can go about this. I get that his speeds is connected by Ethernet, so he has it wired, but he still has a problem. Well, typically the remote play is going to be a LAN connection, meaning that it's trying to connect up within your home. So let me see. Let me check something real quick here. Remote play Xbox, because we can't actually see it from ours because it wants to go to sleep on us and it hates us very much. I don't know why, but whatever. So Xbox Series X. Let me just look it up real quick. I just want to see how it goes about it. Here's what you'll need to start playing. Yes, we know that. Internet connection. 5 gig mobile download, 10 megabits per second. We don't care. Okay, that's what I was looking for. So let's test remote play. So it's going to try to connect up. Mobile gaming accessories. No, that's not what I'm looking for. But it appears that controller readiness. Play games installed on any Xbox console, currently compatible with Android and iOS, excludes backwards compatibility. So yeah, okay. We'll just do it this way. We will do it this way. Where'd he go? Oh, right here. Well, typically the remote play is going to be a LAN connection, meaning it's trying to connect up with your home. So what happens if you try a different device? Does it connect up to your PC, for example? It's Android and iOS, right? I just wanted to make sure. That's the reason why we came here. Yeah, PC. Yeah, just making sure. Up to your PC, for example, try a different device. Does it connect up to your PC, for example? Or does it have the same latency? So typically we're looking for a block. So basically this is going to be some type of a firewall issue, but it's kind of hard to troubleshoot a customer's firewall issue. Well, we can start asking about it. So in this particular situation here, we can ask them, hey, who owns your router? So also, who owns your router? Is it from your ISP or did you purchase it? All right, so this is a better question to ask than just straight up being like, oh, hey, do you have any type of firewalls on your router that may be preventing you from having this problem? Most people don't know that. It's better to ask them whether or not the router belongs to them or not, because if it belongs to the internet service provider, 9 times out of 10, you can't exactly go into the settings and change that without it actually blocking you. So sometimes they'll just straight up block you from making any type of changes to your firewall. But if it's owned by you, then more than likely you have gone into it before, and there may be a firewall setting you can maybe try to change or a firmware update you can go for. But it's easier for us to ask it this way. That way we have a good idea of how to troubleshoot it. So we'll go with that. The Xbox kind of let us down here. It apparently doesn't want to work today, but that's cool. We can still go around it. We can troubleshoot blind. That's fine for one day, but we'll get it fixed. I'm not too worried about it. But for today, we'll just go with that. I don't know how many Xbox issues we have, but hopefully we don't have too many, because doing this without the Xbox is gonna suck. Yeah, it's gonna suck. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Hopefully it's PC related. Okay, so, PlayStation. All right, cool. That is illegal. Healing myself 27 times. The boss heals himself once. Oh, Melania laughs at this. So yeah, that's exactly Elden Ring. That is the definition. Oh, she heals? Oh my god. And she kicks my ass. That's very erotic and very, very mean. So yeah, I definitely get what you say on here, but yes, this is 100% illegal. The boss cannot heal under any circumstance because that is cheating. So this is from Ankma. PC occasionally crashes when launching a browser or games. I don't remember this one, so I'm just going to start reading, and I'll stop when I remember. My PC has crashed 4 times over a span of a month of active usage. The constant between the crashes is whenever a new application is launched. The Brave browser. Oh, that's right. So he had Brave browser. I remember that one. Valheim once and LOL twice. Transition into game, not when starting the game launcher itself. The crash itself is almost identical, being that my screen turns black and loses connection to the computer as if unplugged. So you get a black screen and it's almost like he loses connection. The computer itself remains powered on, however. Do you have a Reddit or Discord so I can show you what my laptop is going through? I do. I just created it though, so it's kind of new. Let's see. Reddit. So I think profile. Yeah. So I do have a Reddit. I think it's called like TheOpenForum or something. Yeah, the u/TheOpenForum 86. So you can reach me here and then just chat with me from here from Reddit. So let me copy this. Hopefully it's not showing anything crazy. I don't think it is. It's still in private. So it's from here. So just hit me up there and it'll show up in the chat, and then I can chat with you there. And from there, I believe you can upload pictures, because I think Folded Meat actually uploaded us some stuff. Yeah, you can. So you have the picture option from right here. So Folded Meat is one of the guys that we troubleshooted previously. And we troubleshoot for like 3 weeks. But he ended up replacing his graphics card with a 3070. But yeah, just try that and let us know how that works. And we should be able to see you in chat here in a little bit. Alrighty, and we were on this cat here. All right, so yeah, he basically is having some issues with the screen going black. Computer itself remains powered on, but non-responsive despite rolling my head on the keyboard. Got it. So, quick question. When the screen turns black, have you tried to unhook the HDMI display cable and replug it back in? That's a good question, but that's kind of a weak question. I should have asked more questions than that. I was probably sleepy. I just tried it. The screen stayed black, unconnected. If I had to guess, something is causing the monitors to disconnect. This time when the crash occurs, it was when alt-tabbing between a game and the browser. Okay. I'll play. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. What kind of case do you own? I'll explain while I'm asking him this. Because I've seen an issue similar when the GPU was losing connectivity because it was connected to a riser cable. Also, what happens if you it still had a black screen? I've had to guess something is causing the monitors to disconnect. This time when crash occurred, it was when alt tabbing between a game and the browser. So he calls it a crash, but it's not really a crash. It's just a black screen. And he has a, oh no, he already told us. Oh, a 3090 Tough. Oh. So he has a 3090 Tough and it's a B660. Let's look that up real quick. B660 Wi-Fi D4. Okay, so there's a couple ways we can go about it then, if that's the case. If that's what he's rocking. So Wi-Fi D4, and he has an 850 watt. Okay, so he has an ML240 V2, but that is just the radiator. He doesn't actually say what case he's using. Also, what happens? Well, it's a full size ATX case, so it doesn't necessarily mean that he's not using a riser though. GPU losing connectivity because it was connected to a riser cable. Also, what happens if you swap the GPU to a different slot? Does it work then? So we'll go with that. We'll go with the swap of the GPU. His motherboard appears to handle it. So his motherboard definitely has the another slot on it from what we can actually see here. Let's do one more test just to make sure we get it all, because sometimes it may be like 18 different versions, but I think his version here, Wi-Fi D4, yes, this is it. It sounded like it was a micro ATX board, but yeah. So this guy here has 2 slots. So I would say try that second slot to see if it makes a difference and go from there. Now, of course, it depends on what kind of case he's rocking, but I would say just if he can't, or if he or she can, go ahead and try that. And let's see here. What kind of case do you own? Because I've seen an issue similar to this, just to make sure that they're not using a riser, and also try a different GPU slot and also update the drivers. Did I not say that? We'll add that too. One last thing. Be sure to update the drivers. Be sure to update the drivers for your GPU. Okay. I am going to check. I already created a community. I just I'm very new to Reddit, and I have a community, but I haven't actually looked at it in a long time, and I'm afraid of what it will show. So I'll take a look at the community whenever I click on it. I don't know what it's going to show, so I'll take a look at the community a little bit later. But let me go ahead and refresh and see if we picked up anything here. I do not see a post just yet, but you should be able to reach me here. But let me know if you can't, and we can take a look at it, Nicole. Alrighty, that's group 1. So let's finish that out. Group 2, hey, we're making progress. At 8 o'clock, that's so behind, but it's still good. We're still helping a bunch of people, so I'll take it. Okay, let's do this. Got my tea. This a new one? This a new one. All right, severe ghosting after update of motherboard BIOS and installing Intel chipset drivers. We've ran into something similar, not necessarily ghosting, but it should most definitely change our processor. So let me actually do something real quick here. Let me Xbox. Okay, let me just unplug this real quick. And then plug it back in. And then power it off. And then power it back on when it comes back up. If it's going to. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And then turn on the Xbox controller if it wants to. Okay, we'll just do that real quick. All right, my specs are as follow. Blah. I'm not about to read all that. We'll come back to it a little bit later. I have been holding off doing an update to my motherboard due to a known issue with the Z490 boards bricking during updates for several months. Today, I went ahead and it worked, thankfully. After that, still on MSI website, I installed their Intel chipset drivers. I had recently updated my PC to Windows 11 maybe 2 months ago, so I figured I would install whatever drivers I may have missed. After the BIOS update and chipset driver install, I am getting extreme ghosting when running games. Examples 1 and 2. Oh, we got pictures? Oh, snap. You know we like pictures. Damn. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Is this what Spider-Man sees? Is this his Spidey sense? Oh, my God. How is he able to take in all of this information? That looks horrible. Okay. I don't even know. You want to call that ghosting, bro? That is... Ooh, Lord. Okay. All right. What's example 2? It can't be any worse than example 1. Oh, well. Yeah. Oh, you got a problem, bro. But this is actually, it looks more like refresh rate, though. If I had to guess, man, I say this is more so refresh rate than anything. Are you talking? Nah, he's not talking. It's just the game itself. And him pressing play. Okay, got it. Okay. So he tried those 2 examples are me trying to show in the game, but I had to record on my phone, which I think only does 60 FPS. Okay, well, that's going to help. That's going to make a difference. That's the reason why it looked that way. But you have 144 hertz panel at 1440p, so it's quite hard to identify by video, right? Example 3 is a video of rapid scrolling in menu where it may be easier to see the ghosting I'm talking about. All right. So you can't take any of what he said to heart because he was recording on his cell phone. A lot of times when you have monitors that have 144 hertz, and we know this as well because we have a 240 hertz here whenever we were playing video games, and whenever you try to play that on 60, it's horrible. It's awful. It's a big pain in the butt. But sometimes whenever you record is usually okay, but yeah, whenever you have a 240, you're trying to show it on a 60 hertz phone that isn't set to the actual monitor. In other words, it's not the computer that's trying to record and it's just plucking a frame every 4th frame. That's not what's happening. It's a 60 hertz camera trying to show a 240 hertz panel is always going to look like trash. So you can't actually take that into consideration. But a true record that's actually on the actual desktop itself is going to be a little different. So okay, that's a little better. Yeah, it's not having the best of times. It almost looks as if it doesn't have a driver. Okay, it's hard to see with these videos, but trust me when I say, even when G-Sync is enabled as usual and V-Sync on? Why is V-Sync on? Why would you have V-Sync on whenever? Okay, so, well, we're definitely going to say that. All my games and desktops become the freaking Ghostbusters basement vault with all this ghosting. Absolutely impossible to see anything moving due to laggy trails of image left behind. The desktop expresses severe ghosting too, as shown in example 4. Okay. Got it. Here's an example of the NVIDIA overlay recording in game, which I think only records at 60. You're absolutely correct. But the game was running at 110 FPS or so. It shows kind of bad ghosting, but the effect when I record here, where I recorded this was at least triple the extent of my screen. I couldn't differentiate between buildings or anything. In fact, it was all super ghosty and blurry. it's really pretty. That's all I can really think of. But yeah, it's it looks like his frame rate is being affected by VSync. That's what it looks like. I don't know what you want me to say to that. So why do you have VSync on with a monitor that can go, what did he say he was going on? 144 hertz monitor can go 144 hertz. What happens when you turn VSync off in game? As for outside of the game, go to, what was it? It was from Windows 11. It was system display settings. Yeah, system display and advanced display. System display, advanced display. Okay. So system display, advanced display. Let's go back. Go to system. System display. Display. Oh, can't even spell. Display. Advanced display. As for outside the game, go to system display, advanced display, and make sure the frame rate is set to 144 hertz. What else did he do? I have been holding off an update to my motherboard due to a known issue. Oh, that's right. He updated the drivers is all he did. Also, be sure your GPU is on the most up-to-date driver. All right, we'll go with that. That's fair. VSync is the first thing I thought of because VSync will chop you because VSync has to be a what was it, like a factor of 12? Tell 24, 36, 48. Yeah, it's something like that. It's like a factor of 12 or something. And so because of that, it will take you down to a different factor, and that may be causing his issue because you shouldn't have VSync on with a 3090. That's not necessary, especially if you're, or a 3080, especially if you're running at 144 hertz. You should be okay. So whether it's 1080p or it's 2K, it doesn't matter. Either way, you still would have VSync turned off. I think with a computer this powerful, he's probably not running at 1080p. He's probably going to be running at 2K. So yeah, 27-inch. Let's see. Let me look it up real quick. He actually even told us. Oh, I was like, man, what does that sound? Okay, yeah, it's 2K. Just making sure. All right, so that guy's 2K. So yeah, we look good to go here. I'm just making sure I was still recording. All right, because I heard that sound and it got me nervous. All right, so let's close all these out. And yeah, that's what I want to say to him on that. And yeah, just turn off VSync, bro. Like that's exactly what you would do on that situation. Turn off VSync and see if it makes a difference. Also, make sure to check the drivers just to make sure that they're up to date, and go from there. Alrighty, keep us posted, bro. We'll probably see him tomorrow anyway. Alrighty, so this is gonna be Spotify. We don't go Spotify. Oh, it got solved. Okay. Okay, does it play sound when you choose the Xbox from a different device that also has Spotify? Does any other app have issues? You can try to install Spotify onto an external drive to see if it makes a difference. Thank you for the response. I have not checked if any of these worked. However, after waiting a few days with constantly using Spotify whilst a bit scuffled, it has returned to normal and all features are functional again. Thank you once again for the response and the help. Oops, sorry. No problem, sir. We take assist trophies around here. So I appreciate the assist. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Alrighty, so it looks like he's good to go. So I'll take that. It's kind of an interesting one, though, for it to be Spotify on Xbox. We've been tried. Like, we were going to download and install, well, we installed Spotify on Xbox. I think it was already there. But we tried Spotify on Xbox. We were still having problems. But speaking of Xbox, let me see if it's working now. Nope, it is not working. Okay, whatever. Okay, we'll just go back to it. Whatever, Xbox, you be that way. You hurt my feelings, but it's okay. All right, let's go rate my setup. Yo, that is the dopest setup ever. You know, what it really needs is a mouse. So, kind of need a mouse. Need a mouse. But outside of that, I like it. Oh, okay, so obviously mine isn't the funniest. So let's see how many people just smashed me. Amazing cable management. Damn it, it's a good one. Why can't I be this funny? I know, right? Kind of jealous. Good for a small budget, or small for a good budget. Dang it, they're so good. You went all in on hardware but couldn't afford all of the keys. I opted for a 0.2% keyboard. Dang it, that's good too. But will it run Doom? Will it run Crisis? I'm pretty sure someone can make... Oh no, I'm not about to... This is the problem when you start going too far down. They start to get very, very crude. But how will it be able to make out what's happening? Okay, yeah, see, he's like me. We're not the funniest people in the world. And I try, but I got smashed. I knew I was gonna get smashed in the comments, but I had to look. I had to know just how far away I was from their level of comedy. Apparently, I am extremely far. But I'll take my L and walk away. It's okay. We have an assist trophy and an L. So that's what we have in the joke department. We'll take it. All right, so I remember this. So this was a guy with the rate my setup situation, and we talked about this. Well, not a lot to say. Most companies use ThinkPads, so there is a possibility that the ThinkPad you are using is for your job. So if so, I rate it a not yours out of 10. Okay, that was pretty funny. So that was a good one because most people don't use ThinkPads as far as a residential standpoint. They usually use it for their job. You are on the right track, haha, but no, first I am a student teenager, but the laptop did begin its life as a work laptop, later was to be thrown in the trash, and I salvaged it. I knew it. I knew it. Yeah, most people don't run ThinkPads. You just don't see that too often. Generally, ThinkPad is on the commercial side. It's not like I don't know how to troubleshoot it. It's just, 9 times out of 10, whenever I see a ThinkPad, I'm seeing it on the commercial side. Case in point, I have a ThinkPad. It is right there. It is the Latitude 5620, something like that. It's huge, but I use it for work. IP fragmentation. I remember this. So we talked about this situation with the fragmentation. So essentially, what IP fragmentation is essentially if you have a packet going from point A to point B, and it's too big, then it fragments the packet. And the problem with that is if fragmentation isn't turned on every router to its destination, then that packet, that spare packet will drop. So there's two ways to go about it. You either lower the MTU or you raise the MTU. The MTU is the maximum transmission rate, or maximum transmission unit. So basically it's the size of the packet. You either make it bigger or smaller. But if it's bigger, then everybody else has to basically agree that they will accept that bigger packet. But if it's smaller, then you don't have a problem. So typically people try to make it go smaller unless we're talking in a commercial sense. So that's what we said on this one here. So what's the error? Do you have a picture? I tried Googling your title, but there are no images to speak of. What is the actual problem? We host a troubleshooting live stream, so we will be back on to reach back out tomorrow. Should you respond? Hey, yeah, sorry, thought people may already know about this error. So he showed us the error here, and the error basically is saying the router you're using might not support IP packet fragmentation, and some network features of your PS5 might be restricted. For details, contact your router manufacturer. So basically, it is essentially telling him that packets are not. He has router might not be able to support IP packet fragmentation. So his packets are too big is basically what it's saying here. However, when we ran this test, this is Xbox. Please don't let this be Xbox. Was this Xbox? I feel like this is Xbox. No, that's PlayStation. Good. The one that's actually working today. So when we tried and we went to network and connection and we tested our connection, right? And we were looking at this and we were comparing his error to ours. We didn't have anything of the sort. Whenever we went down there and it finished and it showed us, it did not say anything close to that. Let's see. Scroll down here. Yeah, so you see we have the 512 megabyte of data will be sent and received. So we have that, but it never showed us the end of it. So it appears that essentially what you would do for this situation is you would make your packet smaller so that it'll be okay. But I don't know if you can make that change on some routers. Some routers may not allow you to do that. But so I can answer the question like a network engineer. So IP fragmentation is a feature that allows you to break apart packets that are larger than 1500 bytes. You could also raise or lower your MTU to accommodate the payload instead. So in your router settings, you can start by changing your MTU to 1460. 1460 is a typically 1460 is, instead of it being 1500, 1460 basically means that if there's any type of encapsulation that's happening, it'll still be under 1500. To see if that packet makes a difference and the error goes away, we don't want to raise the MTU because there is no guarantee that all the hops along the way support frames larger than 1500. So you should be able to Google your router and type change MTU. Let us know if that works or if it does not work. Yo, thanks for your input. I've tried changing the MTU several times, but to no avail. But I recently found out why I got this message, and it's worse than I thought. It's nothing to do with my router. It's the ISP's fault. They can't deliver IPv6 that is the standard to play games. They literally don't have enough IP addresses to share so that I can play games. And their solution is to add a stability IP that I had to pay even more for. It's freaking crazy how they expect me to pay for an error they have. But yeah, after I got the stable IP, my games worked and I could play. So the problem is fixed, but not the issue. Stability IP? Stability IP? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't even see that. So I was just reading what he said. So, I mean, it don't really matter. Y'all can still hear what I said. Stability IP? What do you mean? What do you mean? So, okay. All right. Well, let me do some explaining here real quick. And I'll refresh the screen, Nicole, and check that out. But so with IPv4 has been running out for decades. It's always been like that. But at the same time, we have what's called NAT. NAT essentially basically takes your private IP addresses and converts them to one public IP address. So you don't need multiple IP addresses in order to get out to the internet. That's what NAT is. So because NAT came out and everybody uses NAT, nobody really needed IPv6 as much. So you really only see IPv6 on the commercial sense, but computers, as well as most devices, have the ability to what's called dual stack. In other words, you could have an IPv4 address and an IPv6 address. And in this particular situation here, it appears that it's wanting an IPv6 address, but at the same time, I don't have an IPv6 address on mine. So the fact that it's showing him that is kind of an interesting one, because I don't think IPv6 should have anything to do with it. Whether it's IPv6 or IPv4, it shouldn't matter for the error that it's actually giving you. So, but at the same time, it would matter with the internet service provider itself, because you're going through their routers, right? So if it's showing you that particular error, then it could be an issue between the ISP and getting to its actual destination. That's a possibility, but I'm not sure what they mean by stability IP. That's kind of an interesting one. So because of that, let's ask him. Stability IP, what do you mean? Stability IP, what do you mean? Not having a IPv6 address should not affect connectivity if you have a IPv4 address. Case in point. Okay, well, I was gonna say that, but then I don't know. Let me check my IPs real quick. I don't think y'all can see it. Just making sure. You gotta make sure. Okay, let me do an ipconfig /all just to make sure I don't have an IPv6. I do, but that's my link local. That doesn't count. So I do have an IPv4, IPv6, but I don't know if that's what's causing it. Let me see. Maybe it is. Let's look it up real quick just to make sure we're not going crazy. So this was PS5. What was his error? Got blown away on that. Yeah, IP fragmentation. IP packet fragmentation. PS5 IP packet fragmentation. Is it really IPv6? Oh, is it really the reason why it gives you that error? Now, there has been a situation where this has happened before with oh, let me remember. Network sharing. Okay, so network sharing within your house. If you don't have IPv6 turned on, it can cause problems because they were trying to reach each other via the IPv6 link local address, which is an IP address that allows them to communicate with other devices that are on IPv6. So you have to turn that on. That was a time where that has happened before, but packet fragmentation for the PS5, it should not be restricted to your IP address being IPv6. That's kind of cray-cray. I don't believe that. Let me see. Anybody else? Were you able to fix this? Yeah, call ISP, PS4 DNS settings. Then you sift through the videos. Okay, what keyword specifically did I use to search my parameters? Did you fix it? I definitely did. It's been a year. I don't remember. Rip, man. Thank you. Okay, so everybody who's run into this problem, it appears that they haven't actually detailed a possible ideal solution. Let's see. Since using a router is for gigabit with blah blah blah, call your internet service provider. Notorious for shifting blame. Yes, they are. Here's a line. I'm having troubles with my upload speed, blah blah blah. This informs them that the upload speed are slow, but the download is fine, blah blah blah. Change the network MTU, which is what I said, to 1450. 1460 is what you would really want to use. That's what most people use. That lets you know, lets people know that you know what you're talking about. But you can go lower. But that's a quick that's a quick way to make people realize that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you say like 1450 or 1480, 1480 is okay, but usually most people go 1460. So just say 1460 and people know what you're talking about. But you can change the automatic manual. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, they just said contact your ISP. They're no further than we were. So we'll leave it alone. Yeah, we'll leave it alone. But we need to know about the stability of IPv4. I'm trying to post on Reddit. I'm new to posting there. Me too. Let's do this. Let me see what's the best way for me. Let's see. Reddit is a problem. You can post on YouTube, but is it a picture or is it a video? If it's a picture, oh, here, try this. I can shoot you my it's a lot of pictures. Okay. What's my YouTube show? Let me check real quick here. I'm sorry. Let me switch to a different browser and about view email. Okay, cool. I'm just going to give you the email address that's already on my account for business inquiries. Go ahead and email me here and I should be able to see it. There we go. So that's what I use for business inquiries. So just go ahead and email me there and send me that information and I should be able to see it there and we'll address it whenever I get it. Okay, let me minimize this. Make sure y'all not hearing that. Okay, cool. Make sure it's not playing anything. It's not. Okay, so what do you mean not having IPv6 address should not affect connectivity? If you have an IPv4 address, case in point, not having an IPv6 address should not affect, there's no case in point. If you have an IPv4 address, that should be fine. Did they tell you what the stability IP was for? That's not a thing. Well, okay, we'll leave it alone. We'll just leave it at that because it's not a thing from my experience. I've never heard of somebody say stability IP. There's no stability IP. There's just IP addresses. So there's IP addresses, there are IPv6 addresses, and that's pretty much how that rolls. But there's no stability IP. So I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. So it'd be kind of interesting, but we'll see. Okay, well, we'll leave that one alone and we will continue on. Okay, we need closure on that group. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and go to group 3. Oh, back to network connectivity. Wow, okay, well, you know, it's not like it's our specialty or anything. TXRX Master Slave Wireless System. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to use an RJ45 coming off a runt board as a wireless transmit receive to a Mutha Goose. I can connect runts, slaves, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. in a chain with Ethernet cables jumping from one to the next, starting with MG master unit. I know that Ethernet and USB typically function differently, but I was wondering if there is something I can use that will replace the Ethernet wire, something to plug the RJ45 slot on the MG to station and the incoming information from each runt, and something to plug into the RJ45 slot on each runt to communicate with the MG. I don't know what a Mutha Goose is. You're going to have to show that to me. What is a Mutha Goose?
You see, all the wire is connected. Let me show you. You see, this server books will come
Google System Printer. Okay. So move the goose. Printer? System with printer. Okay, images. Okay, maybe we are talking about Boot the Goose. I need to see the back of it. I can't do anything if I can't see the back of it. Moot the Goose and Google and Gaggle. Okay, so it's a printer. Okay. Printer back. So let's look at the back of that guy. There we go. Oh, come on. I clicked on it and then everything just kind of went to heck. Okay. Just please don't. Why? Why would you do that to me? I just need to see the picture. Here we go. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, so it has a few VGAs and it has that one Ethernet. Okay, cool. So when he's saying slaves, I can connect runts, slaves, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., in a chain with Ethernet cables jumping from one to the next, starting with the MG master unit. So I know that Ethernet and USB typically function differently, but I was wondering if there's something I can use that will replace the Ethernet wires. Something to plug into the RJ45 on the MG to station the incoming information from each run, and something to plug the RJ45 slot on each run to communicate with the MG. No. Unfortunately, for this one, it appears on the back of the master unit, it only supports RJ45 and daisy chaining. Only supports RJ45 just from the pictures we have seen. So there's nothing that you can do, and there's a reason why I can answer this. So there's something that's called Stackwise. Stackwise. So Stackwise essentially, I'll show you, is this. You see this right here? So Stackwise is the ability of having your switches connect up to basically so that they turn into one giant switch. So for example, if this is 1/16, this is 2/16, this is 3/16, essentially. So basically it would really be like 1/1/16 and 2/1/16, but that's essentially what it will look like. But I already saw the back of this guy, and this guy doesn't have this kind of capability. So that's how I know that it won't work. So just to give you an idea of why I know that answer, that's the reason why I know that answer, because I know they don't have this. It's too old of a system. All it has is that one Ethernet. So he's just daisy chaining it. So it appears that in this particular situation, that won't work for him. So yeah, so Grim Jackal, that's what we would say to this one here. Just from looking, it appears that that wouldn't work for your system here, because you can look on it and back and see, like, all he has is like those Ethernet ports. You can't use that because that's not enough ports for it to actually work properly. And on top of that, I don't think you'll be able to keep that signal. That's generally for troubleshooting. So we'll leave it at that. Possible serial, but it's super unlikely. If you don't like Ethernet, you're sure as hell it's not going to like serial. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one. That was crazy. Sometimes we get these kind of issues where they kind of just go all over the place, but you know, it's whatever. As long as we have our knowledge pretty defined, it's not too bad. And on top of that, we get to help somebody who hasn't had anybody answer this question. I don't think anybody will, because I don't know if anybody knows that. You got to be working for like a company or something to know that. Civex. Let me check your pictures, Nicole, real quick. Let me go to my Gmail account and check for the pictures. I sent email with some links. Okay. Cool. The administration screenshot I'm doing right now. The second one option is to reboot the profile, and the Cedra last pick is profile service failed. This is one of the websites I looked up to try to help me figure this out. Okay. The user profile service failed the sign in. User profile cannot be loaded. Yeah, you could try the repair. And then, because it's in file, verification, data files. That doesn't tell me a whole lot, but the other one did. Sign into Windows. Safe mode, enable hidden administrator account. Net user administrator active, yes. Restart the PC. Update Windows 10 operating system, but you can't get in, so that's not gonna work. Services.mfc, and then go into Open Services app. Execute SFC command. Sorry, I can't show because it's from my email. So just give me 1 second here, and I will get back with everyone. Restore health. Copy the default folder from another Windows 10. I don't hate any of these. Some of them are a little. I wouldn't do them. Some of them, like the ones towards the bottom there, but the first like 3 or 4 are okay. Help me figure this out. And what's the other one? It is still loading. A disk check generally indicated by bad clusters. Yeah. I already knew you probably had a drive issue just from you telling me, because you said you did a straight wipe and yet you already have an issue with the profile. That worries me. So essentially you want to do a scan disk. So I would say, yeah, I would say boot into safe mode and then do a check disk. I like this option 4 here. You can refer to the system guide on FCC Scan Now to know about the process command in this utility. Yeah. So what I would do, let's see. I don't like that one. We'll do this one. I can show you. So let's go to Windows 11. And you're on Windows 11, right? I feel like you are. So that's fine. We'll just do it that way. Windows 11. I can show you from this guy. Oh, Windows 10. I'm sorry. Windows 10. I can't do it with. So basically, command prompt. So you will reboot in a safe mode, and once you reboot into safe mode, then you can go here. I'm doing a run as administrator, but once you're in safe mode, you don't have to do that. And it will be. Can it actually do that? No, it can't. Okay. Scan now. So SFC space scan now. And basically it's going to be doing a system scan, and it's doing a system repair pending, which requires a reboot to complete. Restart Windows and run SFC again. Okay, so this one, it won't let me because it has a pending repair that's happening. The system repair pending, which requires a reboot to complete. Restart to Windows to run SFC again. Okay, yeah. But essentially, SFC scan now is essentially it scans the disk. So ideally, what's happening is it appears that you may have an issue with your drive. It appears that you may have some corrupted clusters, and it's not so bad where it can't install Windows. But it appears that whenever you're trying to create profiles or you're just doing random things, it appears that your drive may be having a problem. What you would want to do is you would want to actually boot into safe mode by basically rebooting it and pressing F8. I think you showed me a picture where you were close. You were startup settings. So if you choose the startup settings to change the Windows startup behavior, that's where you would actually do that. So choose the startup settings in order to boot into safe mode. And you just basically choose safe mode with networking prompt upon boot. And then once you choose safe mode with networking prompt, then you'll be able to go into the command prompt. And once you're in the command prompt, you can do the SFC space scan now to see if it can repair the disk. So advanced options from the second picture, second pick, and restart with select it, and it will reboot while giving you options. Choose safe mode with networking. Then go to start, CMD, enter, CMD, then enter, Then can I get it into the writing, please? Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Then type SFC space / SX scan now. Okay, so once you click on startup settings, it's going to tell you all the options that you can choose from, and then it's going to give you the option to restart the PC. Once you restart the PC, when it's booting up, it's going to give you all of those options. You're going to choose safe mode with networking. Once you choose that, it'll take a little bit of time and it will eventually boot up. Once it boots up, you're going to be in safe mode. And from there, go ahead and do a disk scan, which is going to be the SFC scan now that I just gave you. So go ahead and try that. Let us know how that goes. And then we'll just keep an eye on you. Okay, let's go ahead and go to our next one here. Internet Explorer, there we go. Okay, so computer crash, it won't turn on. Today I upgraded my CPU. Everything ran nicely and I managed to get 30 minutes of gaming before my computer crashed. I have tried to turn it back on with no luck. I have changed the fuse in the power LED. What? But that doesn't seem to have done anything. Any advice would be greatly appreciated, and it won't turn on. Okay, sure, when you try to... Okay, I'm going to finish this with stage 5 administrator command. Okay, yeah, if you can right click and go to administrator, then right click open as administrator, you can. I'm just not sure if you can in safe mode, because safe mode kind of eliminates everything. But try stage 5 administrator command. Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about from the advanced options. Let me go back to that real quick. Let me go back to your pictures. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, you can do it from the advanced. You can do it from the advanced options. That's fine. So, yeah, option 5. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, so go to advanced options. I'm sorry. So yeah, you could have done that. You could do that too. So advanced options, and then choose option 5. And then from there, that brings up the command prompt. You can do it directly from there. I'm sorry. You're absolutely correct. So if you already are on the advanced options, you can choose command prompt. I see startup settings in my mind just kind of tunnel visions to it, but I didn't. You're right. Command prompt. Yeah, you can do it from there. Directly from that second picture. Especially if it's taking you there and you're already there. Just choose command prompt. Sorry about that. And okay, we already did the TXRX guy. No absolute. Okay, so sure, when you try to power it on, do the lights come on for a bit? What happens if you test with your previous CPU? Do you still have it? Hey, no absolute. Hey, no, absolutely not. Lights came on. I've given the old CPU a go, and that's not working either. Well, that's not good. So you replace your CPU twice for my computer crash. I have tried it to turn it back on with no luck. I have changed the fuse in the power LED, but that doesn't seem to have done anything. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Okay, well, it sounds as if your power supply may have gone out. When you try to boot the PC, do any lights attempt to power on? I think this was that one where somebody actually just went straight to the point and said, hey, for this one here, you know, something power supply. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. So we'll go with that here and we'll make a few more changes. Okay, well, it sounds as if your power supply may have gone out. When you try to boot up the PC, do any lights attempt to power on? He already replaced the CPU and he still has the exact same problem. That is not good. So yeah, power supply could also be the motherboard, but we'll know for sure whether or not, depending on if he has lights. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. That's technically how you would troubleshoot that. So if you power it on and you get no lights, we're looking at the power supply. But if you power it on and you get lights, but it then powers itself off, you're looking at the motherboard. So there's not too much more to say to this guy. So Civex, do that and let us know how it goes. And okay, me and my setup, ignore the background. I like that. It goes back to that Lego video that we just released a couple days ago. That is so cute. Pro build, bro. Pro build, bro. Pro build, bro. And even better background. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. I like the background specifically because that's a heck of a build back there in the back there. But you know, the Lego one's still pretty sweet too. I like how that's a pretty good background blur too, and he got lighting and everything. He really tried on that picture. How do I fix this avatar editor error? Please don't let it be Xbox. Sorry about that. Please try again later. What is this? Oh, it is Xbox. Darn it. Of course it's Xbox. Of course you get 1,000 Xbox questions whenever you don't have an Xbox. All right. So this is a repeat though. How do I fix this avatar editor error? Couldn't save your avatar. Okay, well, it sounds as if you're having some problems accessing your hard drive. Are you using an external drive? If so, what happens if you unhook the drive? Does it work then? I haven't got an external hard drive. What is strange is that it only does this on one profile and not the other. Okay. Okay. Is it a new profile? What happens if you create a brand new profile? Does it allow you to create an avatar? I just think your one profile may be corrupted, but we'll know for sure once you do this, because once you create a brand new profile, if it allows you to create an avatar, then that means that one profile is just corrupted and you can just kind of go from there. Alrighty, so Matt C, keep us posted. Hey, we're making some progress. This section of installation disappeared when it's not finished. Okay, so it disappeared at 87%, but if you notice here, it says 19.52 gigs of 19.52 gigs. Sorry for the bad photo, but the disk section of the installation just disappeared after installing a few gigabytes and the game cannot finish install. I don't know what to do as the network section has already finished and did some parts of the disk. Anyone help? Yes. How much disk space do you have available? Is this Xbox? Damn it. You can see this by going into your settings and checking the hard disk or checking the drive. I would try to remove a few things, and including the partial download and then re-download to see if that resolves the issue. Usually whenever you see that means that it may just be full, but at the same time, it generally would not have let you install it in the first place. So just remove a few things and then retry the download. It seems like it may just be corrupted. But Ultra Pan, just get back with us. Hopefully by tomorrow. There's no hopefully, but tomorrow we'll have our Xbox back and we can look at it with you, bro. All right, group 4. Let's do this. Checking on Nicole. Group 4 is Bluetooth speakers get interrupted by copying and pasting. Bluetooth speakers? Well, copy and paste? That's interesting. You have my attention. That sounds like a good issue. This might be the weirdest tech issue I've ever had. You have no idea how long I've been doing this. And I work in IT, I should mention. So do I. I never heard of anyone having this issue. When I press Command C, okay, so we're talking about a Mac, to copy some text, my sound sometimes starts lagging, as if I walk away with my computer away from my Bluetooth speakers. I have a pretty old sound system connected with Bluetooth through a TP-Link music receiver model HA100. I have a MacBook Pro, we know, with Ventura 13.0.1, but the issue has been going on for a while with earlier OS as well. He's on Ventura. What version do we have? Let's go check our Mac. Mac system. About this Mac. 13.1. Okay, so we're on 13.1 as well. All right, let's go back. Okay, so we're on the same version, bro. Well, we're a little bit higher than him. He's on 13.0.1 and we were on 13.1, but we're still on the same operating system. It's not the biggest issue either, but quite annoying. I don't understand why the copy and paste command would do this. My only guess is that Command C command is connected to the iCloud and transfers copying the text to my iPhone through Bluetooth, which might cause a disturbance. That's a possibility, but that's a stretch, bro. Well, and what he's talking about is essentially, if we go back to the Mac here, What he's talking about is, let's say you copy and paste something, and you always notice that whenever we're talking about Macs, if you were to copy and paste something, it would actually end up in your photos. I'm not going to show you that because it's going to show me all the photos because it's actually pulling it in from the cloud. But what he's saying is he thinks that whenever you're taking photos or whenever you're transferring files or anything like that, it's actually reaching the other devices via Bluetooth, which I don't think that's actually what's happening. I think that both the photos and the messages, as well as the photos and messages in FaceTime that are on your phone, are actually connecting to the iCloud, and that's how it's getting that information. They're not connected to each other. So going back here, okay, well, I actually Googled how to turn this off, and I went to System Preferences, General, AirDrop, and Handoff, and turn off Handoff. It solved the issue. Oh, so yeah, I basically solved this issue just by typing it out here and thinking about it a little harder. I'll post it anyway. It might help someone out in the future that has the same. Thanks for reading. So it's not AirDrop, it's Handoff. System Preferences, General, AirDrop. Okay, let's look this up. System Preferences, General, AirDrop, and Handoff. So if we go to Mac, System Preferences, General, AirDrop, and Handoff. Allow handoff between this Mac and your iCloud devices. This is what he turned off. AirPlay receiver allows nearby Apple devices to send in video and audio. Okay, so this handoff is via Bluetooth. That's interesting. Okay, well, that's good information. Apparently, I was wrong. Okay, well, that's kind of interesting. So it appears that it connects to the other devices via Bluetooth, and it connects to the cloud via Wi-Fi, and it's showing them both. So it solved the issue, but that's such a small thing. Is that when I work in IT, blah, blah, blah. When I press Command C to copy some text, my sound starts to lag. So it appears that it was interfering with his Bluetooth settings whenever he tried to do that. Okay, well, that's good information. If we ever see somebody else running into this issue, we can let them know. But I mean, what are the chances, that your Bluetooth will lag whenever you're doing a Command C, Command V because of the handoff that's happening with the file that you're transferring between your phone and your computer? Okay, that's a thing. Of all the things there are in this world, this is certainly one of them. I'll add it to my group of knowledge, and if we run into this again, we'll know. Alrighty, Realistic Airport 46. Well, that's an interesting name. Okay. Oh yeah, this is a person with the percussive maintenance. We didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And could you be more specific about the assault allegations you allege happened to your PC? What actually happened? Maybe that can point us in the right direction. Also, make sure your monitor is set up for the computer, the correct frame rate, and the setting system display, advanced display. It may be at 30 FPS instead of 60 plus. He dropped his computer. That's what ended up happening. And long story short, there was not a single gentle physical assault on my computer recently. After this occurred, the screen will freeze for a fifth or a half a second from time to time, but only when gaming or when dragging open Office Calc files. I notice it in particular happens when assets are popping in while I fly around in 7 days to die, though it also happens just once every minute or so with any games I play. Okay. And then he said the monitor is set up correctly. Also, as for the alleged assault, I'm not saying I did this, but somebody slammed a full on-death strike hammer fist with accompanying battle cry into the right side of the computer, the side that the motherboard is attached to. Whoever did this meant business. Wow, that's insane. Well, for starters, what did you mean by this stutter? What games are we talking about here? What happens if you set it to 720p at 60 FPS? On low settings, does it still stutter? Also, be sure to test this with Star Citizen so our findings will be similar. The video freezes. His original test was on Star Citizen. The Star Citizen 7 Days to Die, notice it rarely. The video freezes for about 1/5 to sometimes a full second. It's not a frame rate drop, it's a freeze. Notice it rarely on Warmane and possibly even Diablo 2, the 90s version. Holy hell. That guy can run on a cell phone. Moving open Office Calc around also stutters in a similar fashion, which never happened. Lowering the resolution of games doesn't change it. My monitor only does 60 FPS. So it freezes. Okay, well. Okay. Oh, wow. What I was thinking and what I stopped typing, and the reason why I stopped typing was because I was originally thinking memory. But if he only has this issue in video games, then Okay. Video games does utilize your RAM, so it makes sense that it could be a RAM issue. So for this one, how much RAM do you have? Do you have a XMP profile? What happens if you turn it off? One of the people that was watching our channel mentioned that if you had only one stick, it has a higher probability of overheating, but we'll at least ask as a troubleshooting methodology depending on what he says. If he says he has 4 sticks, then we'll go ahead and have him jump down to 2. If he has 2, we'll have him jump down to 1, but only temporarily, just so we can troubleshoot the issue. We won't leave it on long enough for it to actually cause a problem. So for this one, how much RAM do you have? Do you have an XMP profile? What happens if you turn it off? Yeah, we'll go with that and just try to get a good understanding, because this sounds like a RAM issue. For it to freeze like that, but not blue screen or death them, it sounds like he may just have a RAM issue. Maybe like his RAM may have gotten damaged because of what happened. And maybe not necessarily the motherboard, just the RAM. But we'll know more whenever we get back from him. So realistic airport, keep us posted, bro. We're doing pretty good on time. Well, okay, we're not, but we are. All right, so this is from Multi-Worth. Got a new gaming PC, rate my setup. Yo, and it's a video too? I'll just rate you just for the fact that you gave us a video. I like that it's Windows 98. I think I've had a computer like this before. Yo, does it work? Oh, snap, it works. Look at them graphics, man. I bet it can run Crysis. Yo, I still got a CD copy of AOL. Let's do this. Let's discover what it means to have Internet Explorer. All right, is it gonna stop? Oh, it's still loading. He needs to upgrade to an SSD. Yo, it sounds amazing. Okay. That is the dopest PC ever. I love Windows 98. Windows 98. And the speakers sound amazing. I love a build like that. That's kind of sweet. Now, of course, you know, he has 256 megabytes of RAM, and you got to find the AOL disk from 30 years ago. But outside of that, you know, I think you can discover Internet Explorer, and you can also play Odell Down Under. No, I take that back. I think Odell Down Under wasn't even on the 98. I think it was only on Macs. Or was that, I think Windows had Oregon Trail, and Odell Down Under was Macs. But it's been so long, I don't remember. I think I was 7. That was a pretty expensive piece of technology back in the day. Yes, it was. This was super sweet. Congratulations. That's a nice little build. I'll keep it just for the lols. TrackX. Trying to enable dual stack on Frizzbox 7560. Why does everybody keep asking us these questions about this crazy stuff? Okay, obviously nobody replied because they don't know what the hell he's talking about. So, Frizzbox. What is this? I need you to tell me. Frizzbox user interface. Okay, I just need to see a picture of what it looks like, please. Images. Oh, it's a router. Okay, it's a DSL wireless router. Okay, that's all I need to know. So for a few months now, I had massive connection problems with the game Escape from Tarkov. And as it seems, the problem must be that my ISP switched to DS Lite. I'm not sure how to go on about this since I have no clue what I'm actually doing in the settings, and I don't want to break the internet connection for all the Wi-Fi connected devices. I have found a setting which says enable native IPv4, but when I check the help page, there is something written, something along the lines of activate this if your ISP supports this, but will this actually help me resolve my issue, or will it just tell me something like, sorry, you got DS Lite? nothing to be done. This is your new IPv6 address, by the way. I really need some help here since the chances of my ISP actually doing something about this when I call them are slim to none. Always hope you have a nice day, and thanks for your help. If you need more info, just let me know. I will try to answer, but might not be able to before tomorrow. So for a few months now, I have massive connection problems with the game. Okay, so you're having connectivity problems. Must be that my ISP switched to DS Lite. DS Lite. I'm not super familiar with DSL. I worked with coax. DS Lite. Not a Nintendo DS. Supports L2. Okay. DS Lite. DS Lite. DSL. Okay. I don't think you're ever going to get past understanding dual stack light. Oh, dual stack. Okay. I know what he's talking about. That's what we just explained earlier. Dual stack meaning that it's having the IPv6 and the IPv4 address. Okay, got it. Okay. Had to look up what a Fritz box was. LOL. All right, so maybe, so here's the thing. So your ISP enabled dual stack, which means you have a IPv4 and a IPv6 address. If you turn on that setting, I believe it may disable the IPv6. However, this should not fix your issue, as regardless, this is because regardless of if your IP is IPv4 or 6, it's going through the same connections. What is he on? Oh, it's just open networking. Okay. Same connections. Does everyone in your home have an issue? Are you on Wi-Fi or connected directly? If you are on Wi-Fi, try to connect directly to see if it makes a difference. All right. So, okay, I can explain. I can explain. Okay, just making sure, checking on Nicole. All right. So with this one here, so basically his company had changed to dual stack. So essentially he has an IPv4 address and an IPv6 address. Now, I cannot say what he's using the IPv6 address for as well as what he's using the IPv4 address for. It could be that for certain information that might be going across the IPv6 and for other information may be going across the IPv4. I don't know. That's going to be up to his internet service provider. That's neither here nor there. However, that should not have any effect on his latency because they take the same path. You don't have a different connection and a different router because it's IPv6. It's called dual stack, meaning that the same interface can hold an IPv4 and an IPv6 address. Okay, so because of that, it's the exact same gear, the exact same hops. You're not changing anything. I think your issue here is going to be with either connectivity or it can be some latency with the ISP, but it sounds like it may be more so connectivity, which is why we're telling him to hook up directly if he's on Wi-Fi and troubleshoot it that way, because he may just have an issue with wireless connectivity and it may be masking itself and making him think that his issue is with dual stack and it's not. So them going to DS Lite or DS whatever or dual stack should not have any bearing on your latency because they're going to take the exact same hops. It shouldn't change. Okay, it's not a different router for IPv6. It's the exact same router. Okay, TrackX, that's what you would do for that one here. Keep us posted. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. I was told this was the best place to share my shuttle PC bill. I remember them. So essentially for this guy here, he has a shuttle PC, which is this guy here, and it's pretty sweet. And we were talking about it, and we were like, man, this computer is sweet, bro. And he was like, thank you. I think it's sweet too. That's an ATX 2000, by the way. No, it's not. No, it's not. I take that back. I'm sorry. I was going to call that an ATX 2000, but ATX 2000 doesn't have those. It has mini display. So it's just a straight up graphics card here, but a small one. And why did it go to that? Okay. So, well, this is most definitely most interesting case I've seen all day. Does it overheat in such a small shuttle? So far, so good. The front windows are vented with a nocturnal fan drawing air in. Okay, and the two channels with the 1701D on them are hollow, with fans blowing air out of them and out the back. Oh, sweet. Ah, good to know. Ah, good to know. Ready? No, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say ready to take on a Death Star, but then I was like, okay, well, I don't know for sure if that's something that looks like it would take on a Death Star. Like you know, like if you think that it's Star Wars and it ends up being Star Trek or something, I don't want to be the person that does that because I'll never get that let down. Like everybody will stop listening to me, so I'm not even gonna try. And so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not taking an L that I'm not ready for. I'll just put it that way. If I take an L, it's gonna be well deserved, sir. All right. Group 5, let's do this. Okay, group 5. Oh, let me check my email real quick just to make sure. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Had to check my email just to make sure everything was popping and okay. Oh, God. No more Xbox issues. We don't have an Xbox right now. Xbox. No. Okay, whatever. Impressive rip. Okay, Xbox One turning off immediately. Oh yeah, we talked about this and we thought that it was pretty much bricked. He said, okay, it worked earlier today, but when I turned it on, it didn't show up on the TV and turned itself off after about 20 seconds, and now it only stays on for less than a second. Is this an issue with the Xbox or the power supply, and can I fix it? And if it's a faulty brick, could it be damaged? Could it damage the Xbox? Okay, well, for this one, if you plug the Xbox into a different input on the TV, does that make a difference? What about if you swap out the cable connecting the Xbox to the TV? Does that make a difference? No, it still has the exact same problem. Well, if that's the case, it sounds like more of a it could be connectivity. It can still be connectivity, but if it still has the same problem and after about 20 seconds and now it only stays on for less than a second, yeah, power. Well, if that's the case, it sounds more like a power issue than anything. Sounds like more like a power issue. Sounds more of a power issue. You can try to swap out the power cable to see if it makes a difference, but it's not looking too good. Which system do you have? Is it an Xbox? Oh, Xbox One. I don't remember the Xbox One. I never had one. Xbox One adapter. I thought it was. Is it just a cord or? Oh, is it really a power supply? Oh, okay. So yeah, just swap out the power adapter. Okay. I was thinking like the Xbox Series X. It doesn't have that. It's internal. Okay, so good. I can change my answer. Power issue. If you try to swap out the power cable, well, if that's the case, that's more like a power issue. You can try to swap out the power adapter to see if it makes a difference. But if you want to verify, take your Xbox to GameStop and have them test for you. May need to buy a game while you're there so you're not wasting their time. yo, they have a very steep job. They got to sell to 1 million people in like a day. It's very hard being a GameStop employee, but they also have extra power adapters that you can test and make sure it works. They'll be willing to do that because they want to sell you the adapter. Alrighty, that is impressive, Rip. Hey, and we're still doing pretty good. Another networking issue. Let's rock and roll, I guess. Need help with internet issues. Okay, so they have a lot of people that are commenting, so we'll just read a little bit of it. And my PC has issues when connecting to the internet. Wow, I can't even say that properly. My PC had issues when connecting to the internet. Randomly, it just dies, and only on my PC, not on my phone or any other device. My specs are blah. And I said, okay, well, it just seems like you have a connectivity problem. What happens if you plug in directly? And how far is the Wi-Fi signal in your home? We said that because there were like 100 other people and they were asking different things, and we wanted it to be a little different. So he had different options to test from. But let's go ahead and look and see what everybody else said. See if it got fixed. Is your computer plugged into the internet or Wi-Fi, Ethernet? Have you tried a different Ethernet cable? Maybe the router is blocking it somehow. It's plugged in already. Blah, blah, blah. Don't come to the internet. Don't come to the internet. Wow. All right, so let's read it. See, in fact, nobody gave him an actual answer. Okay, so my PC has this issue when I come to the internet. I only built this around the summer of last year. No matter what, randomly, ever since I built it, there is times when my internet just dies, and I have tried to fix it. I have re-downloaded my drivers and all updated. It looks up and check BIOS, but nothing works. Also, the internet just comes back after an unspecified time, so I don't know what to do. You have an issue with DNS, sir. I have now also tried a full network reset under Windows, switch which port my Ethernet was on from the PC to the router, turned off the settings for my network adapter that allows it to turn off. Also, now with my Ether plugged in, it says that there is no internet. But if I go unplug the router and plug it back in, it says there is a connection, but it doesn't work most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does work. Okay. This sounds like you are having an issue with your DNS. On your router, you should be able to change the DNS. Try 8.8.8.8 and 8.8.4.4 for the DNS IPs to see if that helps. You may need to Google changing the DNS on the router you currently have to get the location of where it is. Yeah, this sounds like a DNS problem. So typically whenever you're having connectivity issues and it works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes. However, when you reboot, it does work. That generally means that there's a possibility that either you have a connectivity issue, an issue with the router, or a DNS issue. Typically because whenever you're rebooting the router, you're rebooting the DNS settings so that it's going to retry. But sometimes some routers set the DNS to the router. So for example, if your network is 192.168.0.1 or whatever, well, I'm sorry, .0.x, the router will set its IP to 1. It'll set its DNS to 1, meaning that if you want to look up something, if you want to go to Google or Facebook or anything, you would actually have to send that packet to the router and ask the router to do that lookup, and the router will do the lookup and then give that information to you. So sometimes it may set itself, but what we want to do is we want to bypass that and say, no, we want to set it to 8.8.8.8. So you just query 8.8.8.8 for that information. That way you don't query the internet service provider. Instead, query Google, because Google has a much more reliable service than the actual internet service provider at times. So yes, it sounds more like a DNS issue, and we'll kind of go from there. If it's not a DNS issue, we'll troubleshoot it further, but let's go with just DNS for right now. And then we'll get back to them, the Yeti Meister. Alrighty, so we're getting a little late. We'll probably go to group 5, and then we'll pick up on group 6 tomorrow. Alrighty, any idea what this noise is? I'm down with noises. Okay, I just built this PC about 10 days ago. Not sure what the noise is. Here's a link to the video. If anyone can give me an idea, I would appreciate it. Yeah, of course we can. Okay. That is the sound of a fan silently hitting the a cable. That sounds like a small fan hitting a cable. If you lift that GPU up, is there a fan on the RAM? I'm sorry, not RAM, but NVMe drive. NVMe drive. Yeah. This looks relatively new. Is there a fan on the NVMe drive? If you lift up that GPU up, is there a fan on the NVMe drive? Yeah, we'll go with that. That's what it sounds like, though. It sounds like a small fan hitting cables. So generally, some NVMe's have a small fan on them, and it sounds like you're hitting something with a small fan. So basically, maybe when you took it off to take the NVMe off, there may be a cable that's going into that fan and maybe hitting that particular cable. That's what it sounds like. And then the only reason why it's hitting that cable is because it's getting pressed in by the GPU. Therefore, that causes your problem. Alrighty, cats go bark. The RTX 4080 and 4090 Founders Edition is roughly 30% of the Forum DT1 by volume, but it works surprisingly well. Yes, but you're the only person on the planet with that particular GPU. Yeah, but you're the only person on the planet next to YouTubers that has the Founders Edition. I would gladly, well, no, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna be like, I would gladly trade my Gigabyte for it, but I wouldn't, because I would rather have all my fans in the front than one fan on the other side, because that really messes up some different case configurations. Now, the Gigabyte messes up case configurations too, but it's only because it's too big. This messes up case configurations because even though it's smaller, that other fan can get suffocated by, depending on what case you have. So that's the reason. A little different, but still, they both have their own issues. Alrighty, and we'll do this one. Actually, you know, we might be able to get to group 6. Group 6 is super small, so we'll do the rest of group 6 and we'll finish up. FPS drop until Alt Tab. I boot up a game and it runs normally with constant high FPS, but after 5 minutes or so, the FPS drops like a rock. I remember this. And so they tried a few things. They tried DDU, and basically they just get frame drops every 5 minutes. Any help would be appreciated. I said, yes. Do you run your games in full screen or window mode? If you run in window mode, change to full screen and vice versa. I said I tried running a bunch of different modes, but it still says still says the same. My specs are 8 gigs of RAM, Intel HD 620 MX110, Jesus Christ. Intel Core i5 7500 with 1 terabyte HDD, I think. And I said MX1, or I said, well, that one, well, with this one, what are you gaming at? This PC does not appear to be that capable of gaming. Let's try this. What happens if you set the resolution of the games you are testing to 720p and low? Does your frame rate increase? Also, what is your CPU RAM utilization while playing a game? Hello, I set my game to 720p always while gaming. The CPU and RAM utilization is stable, but whenever I get to these frame drops, my GPU usage drops rock bottom, and after all tabbing, it goes back up to full usage. Okay. Well, what I would then say is to make sure you are on the most up-to-date driver. It's possible you may have a studio driver instead of a GPU driver. Yeah, we'll go with that. Is integrated graphics good for playing games? Not really. Okay, internal graphics is not exactly ideal. There are CPUs that get closer. For example, the 5600G any of the Ryzen 7 series, they have RDNA 2. So typically that means you can run most games at 1080p at, somewhere between 55 to 60 frames per second. That's no different than saying a Steam Deck. But yeah, the internal graphics are not meant to be super powerful. So they're not meant to run 2K or 4K. They're meant to like run 1080p and light gaming. So that's kind of all you're going to get from internal graphics. So yeah, it's not exactly ideal. And on top of that, this person here, his graphics card is super low level. So it's on par with internal graphics. So he's not really, but at the same time, they're playing at 720p, So yeah, it's not the best, but in certain situations, it can do okay. But no, I wouldn't recommend it if we're talking about high-end gaming. Like if you're trying to play, like Overwatch and you're trying to play competitively, then I don't really recommend it because it's not going to be the most ideal. Okay, NR200 PC build, RTX 4090. So this is the build I'm actually trying to do, which is why I clicked on this, but not with the Noctuas, the NHD 14. That's not what I'm trying to do right here, but I like the space, and I think you can fit a 4090 in here, even though it looks like he may have had to do a few things in order to get his to work properly, but GeForce RTX, okay, yeah. So what kind of graphics card is that? I know it's a 4090, but I meant like what brand? Well, okay, he doesn't say. So I'm going to try mine this weekend. It's got to look similar to this, but I'm actually going to do a radiator at the top instead of CPU cooling, air cooling. I'm not going to do that. There's no point. I'd rather do a radiator and see if this will work properly. This right here, this pen right here, this is the same problem I have. This makes it a little difficult because this guy right here bows out of the case, so you can't use the one that comes with the graphics card, because if you do, it'll bow right out of the case and you won't be able to actually run those cables. But with this particular cable, which I ended up having to buy, which is a totally different power supply, you should be able to, because this is a 12 pin. It's not the 8-pin power connectors for the GPU. So yeah, I'm gonna try this exact same build this weekend. Planning on trying this build this very weekend. I have the Gigabyte 4090 version. Which version is that 4090, if you don't mind? I'm looking at the back and comparing it to his to see if he was using the Gigabyte. He's not. All right, so he's using something else. I'm not sure what card that is, but it's not the Gigabyte for sure. Which version of that? Which version is that 4090? Because I can't type. If you don't mind me asking. Yeah. I'm going to try this exact same build. So, hey, looks like we're twins. All right. We've been bamboozled. Atomic Heart Ray Tracing poster child won't support ray tracing for PC on launch. Well, I mean, who uses ray tracing? Heavily promoted feature is coming post-release. Okay, that makes sense. They decided to de novo was more important. Yeah, they have a different... We saw that in the... Windows 11? No, Windows 10. Windows 11. I have too much going on. Windows 11 AMD. No, I don't think is Windows 11 AMD? I don't think so. I think Windows 10 is AMD. Yes, Windows 10 is AMD. All right. So yeah, we saw this. They were talking about this whole de novo thing. Yeah, this right here. So using DLSS as an excuse to screw honest customers is just laughable. Won't purchase your game and will play it on Game Pass. Your company will be ignored as a whole in the future. Good Lord. So yeah, new demo, blah, blah, blah. I have a 3090. I'm a tennis champion. I have won 3 Grand Slams in 1 year. And okay, whatever. Fix it for you. Okay, I hope you are aware that even your account is private, so I can't see all your last posts, blah, blah, blah. All right, so yeah, it looks like running this, it creates some problems with certain graphics cards, and it's not good on NVIDIA cards. It looks like it's only, or it's not good on AMD cards, it's only good on NVIDIA, something along those lines. But Yeah, it looks like they're having some issues with the whole de novo situation, but I don't know enough about it to comment on it. We just kind of troubleshoot, and I haven't heard too much about it. I just heard people complaining about it. The game's not even out yet, so when the game comes out, we'll take a look at it and see if there's some people that we can help. But we don't really get into it if there's a bunch of people just kind of complaining. That's not who we are. We can help 100 people instead of listening to one person complaining about 100 people. Does that make sense? I'd rather help the 100 people. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this here. It comes out tomorrow, so we'll be on tomorrow. So we'll take a look at it then. Zabi Maru. Hey, Zabi Maru says, what was wondering, does this happen to anybody else when trying to run 120 hertz on Xbox Series S while Series S white flickering? Okay. Is it a video? It's a video. Hey, you about to get your yo, you about to get your ass torn up. You should not be going this way. For those of you who aren't aware, this man is about to walk into an open area. I mean, there's people here, 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 there's people on this bridge back here, there's people here, there's people here, there's people here, there's people behind you. It's a horrible idea. Horrible idea. I'm guessing he's not playing a real competitive match because he would have gotten his ass torn up doing this. So don't ever do this if you're actually playing this game. Its running is really good. What is this white stuff you're talking about, bro? I don't see it. Oh, I do see it. Huh. Okay. I mean, that's so small, but I do see it. Does it happen to anybody else when trying to run on an Xbox Series S? Well, I don't have an S. Well, do you get this issue when running it on 60 FPS? Doesn't seem like too major of an issue. Does it affect live gameplay? Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious to see if it happens on 60 FPS. Because that flickering right there makes me wonder a little bit. And on top of that, it's not flickering the entire screen. It's only flickering a particular area. That's a little different. Now, if the whole screen was flickering, we could even look at the television at that point, but we can't when it's only just a certain selection. My friend Samson, he built his own computer. He's a Twitch streamer. Oh, sweet. But yeah, integrated graphics is a little bit iffy, especially now, if we're talking about Twitch streamers, it becomes even more interesting because typically with Twitch streamers, they're going to want to have some type of, rendering for the GPU instead of only running the CPU. So like, for example, HVANC or AV1. So HVANC is what's currently utilized, and basically your GPU takes most of the load when it comes to streaming. And if you have the 7900 XTX or the XT, they have a new compression that they use for their particular GPUs. That way it can utilize their GPUs for streaming, but most people just use HVANC. But yeah, with him here, 60 FPS, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there's a whole bunch of people asking questions. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Just ask our question here. But I've never seen a bug like this because it's only a particular area. It's not the entire screen. So way too pricey. I'm not looking for 4K with 1440p, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, nobody's really talking about anything special here, and there's a bunch of people talking. So we'll just give our opinion and see what he says. But that is going to be the last of our issues for today. Hooray! Alrighty, so Nicole, let us know how that goes. Let us know if you have any problems. We'll pick back up on tomorrow and see how that goes. And we will stop a little bit early today. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like this video, go ahead and like button. If you really like it, I'm going to subscribe. I love you either way. Take care. All the best, and bye. I will see you tomorrow.